What's up guys, everyone on YouTube? This is Madawa with another Leo guide. This time I'm talking to the camera and saying a little bit about the neutral today. And I'm not pre-recording it and then talking over it, so a little bit different today. What I want to talk about today is his neutral, or like in general what you will do in the normal situations while playing. So basically neutral just refers to which moves you are using during your play basically. And I'm just gonna cover the most important one, the key moves, we also call them. I have a big Leo guide, you can also check that out. I'll link it in the description. But this video just talks about this basically, and I wanna do a certain other videos with like wall guide and maybe some punishment guide. But yeah, today I just wanna focus on the neutral. So I'm just gonna explain the way I love it, and I like to explain to other people. With Leo, it's basically a lot of counter tools you will use. Since Leo has strong counter tools, it's most likely going to be a mix of you utilizing key moves, like counter moves, like these ones for example. It's gonna be a mix of those that I will cover in a second. And also some pokes, basically we call them. Pokes are basically just moves where there's not a big risk if you use them in the neutral. If I, for example, do this move, this is quarter circle forward 2-1, let me make him block. This is a safe mid string, and it's only -6 on block, so I don't eat anything for it on block. And it's hitting, if the first one hits, the second also connects. So these are what we refer as poking. Sometimes they are plus, sometimes they're less plus, but I'm gonna cover those two. And Leo, in my opinion, is you play him, like the best way you play Leo is like a mix of counter tools and finding the right moment to use them, and just quick pokes basically to annoy your people. He has quite a few stance transitions that I will cover as well in a second, but it's gonna be a mix of you utilizing those two things. These are like the two most important ones. There's some specific options where you can crush people's moves by going into this stance with this block and then launching them basically afterwards, but for now I'm just gonna cover like the most important moves, so it's a bit simpler for now. And I think one of the most important tools to instantly start is like forward 4. Forward 4 is a move that is a knee, so it can't be parried by most characters. Like Jin can parry it, but a lot of characters, they can't punish knees. It's a generic thing. So it's a good move because it goes into Leo's stance, K and K. And basically, if this hits on counter hit, this is guaranteed. This is K and K 1-2, which leaves you in heat. And you can even hit confirm it. You can delay the second hit. And also, it's also, if you are already in heat and you confirm it, you get a full combo. So, you realizing that you hit it on counter is so important, because you get so much damage. If you don't want to use heat, by the way, and you also want to have a ward splat, since that one doesn't splat, you can also do K and K too. This one is 30 damage, the other one is 35, so it's a bit less, but the difference is that you don't use heat for one, and also, if you use it close to a wall, that's a wall splat. So yeah, and by you pressing down forward, you go into the crouch dash state. So this one where Leo goes down, and from those stances, you get access to more moves. It's basically like you would press quarter circle forward. It's the same thing, just that you only press down forward in this case, and you get access to some other moves I will cover in a second. Just know that if you cancel like this with down forward, you can press up again, which is a sidestep, and by you doing that, you are back in standing position, giving you access to your normal moves. So by pressing up every time after down forward, you can cancel it and loop it basically, or you can also do other moves. Like forward 4, you can do down forward, then up, and then you can also do down 2, which is also a strong mid. One of your key mids actually. Yeah, just note that for now. So back 1 4 is very similar to forward 4. This move comes from an elbow, which also can't be parried by most characters, besides Jin. And it also goes to the same stance, has the same frames. It's just a 2-hit move basically. Same situation. If the second one is countered, you get the same things again. Just know that. And also, it's more or less a combo filler, as you can see. So yeah, can use it in combos, and you can also use it in neutral. Other than that, you have back 1/1+2. This one's a bit tricky, and a very tricky move to deal with as the opponent actually, because it is -12 on block, as I can show you. It's -12. If you condition them to the point where they want to punish that with, for example, jabs, you can hold down by going, holding down you go into block, and then you can basically crush their attempt to punish it and go for block 2. For the beginning, I always recommend just to do this here. For example, this here, and just test your opponent first. That's what I like to do if I play against opponents who I don't know how they will react to things. Because I don't know if he knows. Test them. Simple. Just test them first. If you realize they know exactly what to do and know the option, then don't do it. If they throw out something more unsafe because of that, you can punish that. It's really like a mind game. If they go for it or not. If they know or not. So yeah. And also it's a natural move. It does a good chunk with 35 damage. And yeah. Also your combo filler. So it has multiple purposes. Next up, I want to talk about down forward 1. Leo's down forward 1 is pretty decent. 13 frames. Usual. And it's +7 on hit, which means if you do jabs on hit, if you really would mash after that against Leo, you would get a countered launch, by the way. Because this is also 17 frames. Just for now, just know it has a follow-up, which people can duck on block and on hit. If it hits on counter hit, both hits are guaranteed, but you can't confirm it, so you have to risk it. So be careful with just throwing it out. If you have a feeling that people will do this, then try it out, but just be careful. Like, when it comes to neutral with Leo, you're most likely just gonna use down forward 1. But sometimes when you are under pressure and you're a bit scared, you can try to go for the full one. Just be careful. If you see your opponent is ready for it, I wouldn't go for it that much. Other than that, when it comes to your neutral and you see people are walking you a lot, you will use down forward 3. Down forward 3 is basically your mid homing. It's safe at -9, so even if they block it, it's still safe. But your turn is over basically at -9. You won't do anything. But it splats to the wall. Good way to stop people from walking. So basically, what you have to know is, against Leo, you will most likely will go to the right, and most moves will actually whiff to the right, besides a few certain ones. And yeah, that just covers that option, for example, while you're doing all the other moves that I will cover now. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through the mids, and then I'll cover the lows. Now we can do down 1. Down 1, I can already say it doesn't have the best tracking, like pretty linear move, but it's safe at -2 and +5 at least when crouch. So you can continue the pressure, and you can also hold down, as you can see. If you hold down, you stay in crouch. Gives the option to while standing moves basically. And on counter hit, you get a free stomp. Back then, in Tekken 7, it used to counter launch, but yeah, they removed it. So now it's only a stomp you get. But yeah, you can still do it like in neutral. It's not a bad option to sometimes go for it. just be a bit careful, because yeah, the tracking is not that crazy on that move, so be careful. Same goes for down 2. Down 2 is now a counter launcher, actually, as you can see. One of your key mid counter launchers with Leo. It's +4, so yeah, plus on block. And on hit you're also crazy plus with +9. It's one of your moves that you just throw out sometimes in neutral, since it is very plus, but the tracking is not that good, so be careful with that. But yeah, one of your key moves in neutral. Remember this one. Then we have down back 2-4. Now this is one of your most important moves, and I'm already saying that for now. Don't forget about this move and don't sleep on this move. The earlier you practice to hit confirm it, the better it will be. Basically, what hit confirm is if you do down back 2, you can visually react to it connecting if it's on hit or on block, and then you can press the second button. And by doing that, it's always hit confirmable, because if you don't do it, if you don't hit confirm it and he knows, then you'll get launched, because they block it, they will duck it. So important, always try to hit confirm this. Delay is so big on this one, like you can see. Please practice this. I really can only recommend this to practice hit confirming this, since it's also a launcher in heat. So if you're neutral and you are in heat, you get a full combo. I would say though, I might do a heat guide with Leo, where I will cover this again, but I wanted to leave it at that for now. Other than that, when it comes to like mids, you have back to 1, which you can sometimes do. Decent way to also end a round. Just be careful. Very good players. I don't think most on the lower ranks will ever duck the second hit, since it is a high. But just so you know, it is a high, so people will be ducking it on high level. But it's sometimes a good move to just try to finish the round with. Let's see, it's -4 on block, so you can still continue, more or less. Then we'll have up forward 2-1. Now this one is really important. This is a safe mid string and a launcher if you use your heat. So if you do 2+3, you get a full combo now. Back then you also got a combo like this here by picking up with this while standing 3, but it's super hard and very tactical. So I would only recommend, if you are very good, to go for this option. Other than that, I would just try to use a heat burst, and then you get a full combo. If you don't want to use your heat, if you really don't want to use it, you could do down 4-2. But it's really good because, as you can see, it's an easy launcher. It's only -8 on block. And yes, again, people might step it, as you can see. They can step it to the right, but it's really hard. You have to be really on point and know about this. And if they really do this, technically, you could go for something like this, if you are not that ready. And then go for your homing, because you can go block by pressing down after the first. For the beginning though, I would just always do it. Also, that's just a little bit off topic. If they mash into the second one and we get knocked down like this, you could do a dash heat burst. See? And it launches again. This is just for now. Other than that, we have like, let's say, yeah, a few more mids that you will use in neutral, which is 4-4-2. This one also you can kind of far out in neutral. Tracking isn't the best, but it's still pretty decent. Like, it is -9, but the range is good. And also wall splats. And if you get it on a hit, you can also get lightning glare buff with Leo by pressing 1+2. So it's just a good move sometimes to just throw it out. Decent way to try to finish a round as well. Can only recommend this, but be careful. Like, that's just a generic Leo tip. Like, the tracking on a lot of moves is not that good. Yeah, next move I would cover is up forward 3. Also save mid, crushes low, and also wall splats. You'll most likely use this at the wall though, because it does wall splat. And you will mix this up with the lowest that I will cover in a second. So basically, mostly you'll use it at the wall to mix up, and then go for your wall combo. Very low risk. And then one of my favorite mids with Leo is this here. This is sidestep and then 1+2 in any direction. Just press 1+2 afterwards. It's a safe mid again. And basically, if it hits on counter hit, you have two ways to do guaranteed things out of it. You'll either go for block 1+2, like this, which will give you stomp, or again, if you're really ready, you get a heat burst. It's just a good move to just fall out in neutral. And you can see you have to dash in quite a bit, so you have to practice this for sure. But yeah, if I, let's say, don't block, you know, and then you can just throw it out, you know. It's safe, not a lot of risk. Now we covered the last, like, important mid, which is quarter circle forward 2-1. Also save mid string, and just a move you can use in neutral, like that. Not to think a lot while playing with this move. Basically, you just use it, you know. Don't risk anything. You mix it up with all the other moves you're using, and it's just a safe mid string, really decent. It has a high version that's also natural on hit, but they can duck it. So be careful. If you have a really good read and your opponent ducks, you can just instantly go for it, because it does huge damage and also splats. But yeah, just be careful. It's more about this here though. Alright. That was like the mids. I'm just gonna go through it again quickly. Forward 4. We have backward 4, same thing. We have a down forward 1. Don't forget about the second one. It's more about the first one though, in neutral. We have down 1 and down 2. We have technically down back 2-4, which is this here. Up forward 2-1. You can just throw it out every now and then. We have up forward 3 as well that we can do every now and then. And sidestep 1+2. That's the counter hit. Counter hit knockdown. And we have this one, quarter circle forward 2-1. There are a few others. Don't think it's over with that. But I will categorize them as keep out, which I will explain in a second. But these ones are like the mid strings and mid moves, I would say. With the lows, it's more about you using a few. Like this one is like your main low. This is like the best low Leo has. Like counter head launcher. It crushes highs. Goes into full crouch, so you can go into while standing moves again. And just in general, a very good and fast low that is barely reactable to anyone. So yeah, you will mix your I can't talk. You will mix your mids with lows like this one, for example. And also, if you wanna have a bigger low, you will use his health sweep. Down back for 1. Launch punishable on block, of course, but gives the wall split close to a wall, and knocks down for Oki, for basically to mix your opponent up again. The way I like to use Hell Sweep and also this one is by doing a sidestep into this. Make them think you're going for this here. Because then they will think, okay, he does sidestep. If you do it enough, they will know, okay, you will do a sidestep into this. And then you go for this, for example, or like down back forward. Play a bit with your opponent in this regard. Yeah, these are like the two most important lows. We have this one as well. Don't forget about this. This is quarter circle forward and then 1. It's a counter hit. A move that on counter gives something guaranteed, which is while standing for 1+2. Just a very good move. Also goes under highs more or less if you are fast enough. And it leaves you again in crouch, so you could technically continue. And yeah, as I said, like if you're on counter hit, this is guaranteed. And then you have also this here. Don't forget about this move. Also try to utilize this a lot while playing as well. This is back 1+4. This is a high-low move, which it's a bit weird because that's something very like rare to see a move like this with two hits basically, high and low at the same time. And also, if it is uncountered, you are +14. Basically, it gives you this here. This is back to 1+2. Also, Leo's 14 frame punish. And as I said, if this hits on counter, you get this guaranteed. So just if you are in neutral and you use your lows and your mids, every now and then you can utilize this one. Maybe it hits on counter hit, gives you something guaranteed. Technically, you could also do back 3-1-2 this year. Also 14 frames. Both are really good options. And yeah, when it comes to lows, like besides those that I just mentioned, you have down 4, which is 0 on hit. Just a little low poke, you know. I can also recommend like down 3 every now and then, because it goes also under highs. These are just little low pokes. But when it comes to like the main lows, let's say like this, don't forget about these. But like the main lows, I would say is this one. You have this quick one, and for a bit bigger one you have back 4-1. And this also good for counter hit fishing. Yeah. Now I'm gonna mention something as I mentioned before, which is keep out. So basically what keep out is that you are standing at a further range, like here for example, and you are doing moves to keep your opponent away from you. And these are usually tools that get you something on counter hit. For example, Magic 4, or like Neutral 4, in Tekken language it's mostly referred to as Magic 4, the neutral one. And on counter hit, it knocks down, which if they don't get up the proper way, which is by spring kicking, this is guaranteed. And if this is guaranteed, you get a stomp afterwards. So this is a good keep out tool. And also, I think forward 3+4, I'm still playing around with this, but this is a decent move to just keep your opponent away from you and fishing for a counter hit, because it is a counter hit launcher, as you can see. It also it instantly screws, so you can't use your screw, so you get a mini combo. But it's just a good move to keep your opponent in check, you know, fish for a counter hit and just keep them out with moves like this. Same for like down forward 4. Just a good way to keep your opponent a bit away from you. And you will mix all of these with like your mids and your lows that I just mentioned. It's a mix of all of these, I would say. Like these are like the important ones. When it comes to keep out, you have technically something like down back 3, which is super evasive, but it's hard to utilize this at the beginning because it's pretty specific, like and risky. But technically you have access to moves like this where like it's basically like a backswing and it launches. But for the beginning, if you're just picking up layer, I wouldn't focus too much on these and more on the other moves I mentioned. Oh, by the way, what I almost forgot. When you're on crouch dash, you also have this move. It's a mid homing as well. With this one. You combine this one with this one basically. Both really good. That's basically it. I'm just trying to think if I've missed something. There are some other moves technically. Like stances basically. If you want to keep up the pressure from K and K, you can go for the low one and hold down forward to go into crouch dash. The rest is a bit harder to really land neutral. You can go for this one since it's safe on block. Or you can also technically cancel the first hit of it by holding down into block. But it's pretty hard for a newcomer or like someone that never played this game before to utilize all of this. But for now, just for the beginning, I would focus on K and K4 for pressure. If you see your opponent mash a lot on hit especially, go for K and K2. Then it's a countered launcher. And if you see your opponent ducks a lot for this low, you go for 1+2. And then mix it up between these moves. And when it comes to the box stance, which the most way, or like the typical way you go box is by world standing 3-1, like this. You can do it in neutral, like for example from forward 4. You can try to go for box 2, for example. Yeah, just play around a bit with it, but I can already say it's a bit more specific to go for moves like this. It's more important to focus on other things I just mentioned. And I mean, other than that, yeah, I think for the beginning, I would focus on this for now. There are a few other things that I could mention, but I think if you are still new to Leo, or like fairly new, this is a good starting way to the character. When it comes to wall, Oki, and wall pressure, heat, I will cover this in other videos most likely. But for now, I just wanted to quickly cover like the neutral and like the key moves you will use while you're playing. And yeah, hope it wasn't too fast. I tried my best to cover it in an understandable way. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I will try to answer them all. And yeah, have fun with Leo, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.